Welcome students. This is the next video of your 5th standard applied English, and if you remember the chapter named At the Library. So students, in the previous video we discussed about the library, how to borrow textbook, how to get a membership from the library, and how to read useful books for ourselves. So students, now in this video we are going for the next activity. So students, you can see speaking and practicing. Just see the title, speaking and practicing. The instruction is that talk about your favorite author or a book. Say why you like that author or the book. So students, here there are two friends. They are talking about favorite author or book. Suppose if I say about myself, my favorite author and my favorite book. So students, my favorite author is Ruskin Bond. Because why? I have read most of the books of Ruskin Bond, and even I borrow one book from the library also. And that book's title is All Road Leads to Ganga. So students, why do you like to read books? You must develop your skills. You must develop interest for reading books. If you read, you will get more knowledge about that particular book or particular reading the text. So students, please try to read the textbook more and more. So students, why I like Ruskin Bond? Why? Because here the Ruskin Bond writes very nicely and very effectively. When you start reading from the first page, you will not stop your reading. That kind of reading is there in that particular book. So please try to develop this kind of reading skills for developing your more reading and reading. So students, how to talk about your favorite author and favorite book? Let's watch through the videos.
When talking about our preferences, it is better to give a reason why we prefer something over something else. We should be polite and respect others' choices, even if we do not like it ourselves. We can use phrases like, "That sounds interesting," or "I haven't read or watched it yet, but I would definitely give it a try."
Hi Alia! Wow, so many books! Where did you get so many books from?
I got these books from the public library. I plan to read all these books during the summer vacation.
What type of books are these? What do you like to read?
I like reading gripping mystery as they are page turners. I have these two books of Sherlock Holmes, and this is the first book in the Harry Potter series. I've heard so much about them. I feel it is a fantasy and a must read.
Yes, Alia. I read the first four books of the Harry Potter series. I'm on the fifth book now. It's very good, and I can't wait to finish all the 7 books. I haven't read any book by Sherlock Holmes. Maybe I should borrow one from the library?
What type of books do you usually read, Sarah?
I usually read fantasies and humanist books. I also enjoy reading short stories by Oscar Wilde and Ruskin Bond. In fact, I'm going to the library right now to pick up a few comics for my brother.
Okay, Sarah, then you better hurry because the library closes in another half an hour. So I won't keep you any longer. See you soon. Bye.
Okay students, if you watch the video carefully, if you notice that how these two girls, they were talking about their each other's preferences about reading books. Even they have talked very nicely, even they respect each other's preference for reading books. And students, how do they talk very nicely? Same way you need to talk for reading books, for explaining, for giving your preference for reading books. And students, if you have noticed how do they speak about the different authors' books, okay, and different authors' name. If you remember, one girl spoke about the Sherlock Holmes, and same way another author's name was, if you remember, Harry Potter series.
Good morning, students. Now here it is all about books, right? Now, as there is a saying that books are our good friends. Okay, so it is all about books. So let's do further. Let's go further. What does it say? Word wizard, useful words and phrases. Useful words and phrases which we use in our day-to-day life. You can use these words to talk about your favorite author or books. Alright? Now here there are numbers of words and phrases which you can these are the words to talk about your favorite books or author. For example, bestseller. Okay, bestseller. The books which are sold in a very best way, means the price and the selling process is much higher. Interesting. Which kind of book is that? Interesting. Gripping. Keeping your interest. Mystery, suspense and all. Non-fiction on a base of reality. Page turner, comic book, exciting, then humor, fiction, thrilling, biographical, short stories, must read and folk tale. Now these are the words and phrases which are related to the books. Okay, so we can use these words and phrases when it comes to talk about the books, right? So while reading, you might have the books, alright, not the textbook that you are studying right now, but apart from that, okay, if you have any books at home, like story books or all, so you can use such words and phrases. Now let's move on. Discuss. Here the heading is discuss. Let's see what's that. Read this list of rules to follow in a library. Now rules and regulations must be followed everywhere. Then why not in library, right? So there are some rules which should be maintained and followed in a library. Form small groups and discuss the usefulness of these rules. Form small groups, okay, of your friends and discuss the usefulness of these rules. Why these rules are meant to be followed? Okay, what is the usefulness of these rules that you can discuss with your friends. You can also suggest new rules that you think would be useful. It is not about that the pre-planned or already made the rules, right? But if you have anything in your mind that okay, this can be followed in the library apart from the man-made rules, you can apply it, right? So for that, discuss with your friends and your relatives, your siblings. Okay, now rules of the library. Let's start. Do not carry bags inside. The first rule is that do not carry bags inside, because there is a possibility to have a lot of stuffs in your bags, so others might be disturbed while keeping out those stuffs, and for that, leave your bags on the rack outside the library on its proper place. There will be a rack outside of the library. You must keep your bag over there. Number 2, do not damage or dog ear the books. Now books are, they are not belonging from ourselves. They are belonging from library. So damaging of books. Then do not damage or dog ear the books. That means this is right. We should not do that. We must maintain and we must be very careful while borrowing the books from the library. Number 3, do not eat or drink inside the library. Now Just because of that, the other people can get disturbed. So do not eat or drink inside the library. Library is not the place to have something, right? Number 4. After choosing the book that you want to borrow, get it issued by the librarian. After choosing the book that you want to borrow, now as you observe the books, read the heading, and when you like it, then what you need to do? When you feel that now I like to borrow this book, it seems very interesting, so let me borrow it. What you need to do? Get it issued. You have to get issued from where? By the librarian. You have to go to the librarian. There is a special person for that who is going to issue your book. So you have to go to the librarian. He or she will be issuing your book. Then you can carry it to your home. Number 5. You cannot borrow reference books. Read them or take notes in the library. You cannot borrow reference books. But one thing that is to be kept in your mind, that you cannot borrow reference books apart from the book which you want. Okay? Read them. Whether you can read them over there in the library, or if you feel that it's very important, the details are given very important, so I must note it down, then you have to note, you have to write it, right? You make a note in the library, but you cannot borrow reference books. Leave the books on the reading table after reading. Okay? Do not keep here and there. Just leave the books on the reading table as it is in its main, in its proper position. Okay? So it will not get damaged. Do not place them on the shelves or at any other place. Don't do anything with it. Do not put anywhere else. Do not keep on the shelves even. Okay, just keep it on the reading table. Number 7. Carry your library card with you while visiting the library. Now the librarian will be issuing your card. Okay, library card. Just like you are wearing the identity card in your school. Just like that, you will be having a library card, so that the librarian will come to know that okay, so this is the person that he or she has already have the membership, okay, in the library. So you have to carry the library card while going to the library. And number 8, only library books are allowed inside the library. You cannot use your personal books, stuff inside the library or kept, or you can keep over there. Only the library books are allowed inside the library. These are the rules which must be kept in our mind, right? Now, as you are very young, okay, you cannot remember all those things, but the main things you can keep in your mind and you can follow these rules, right? The rules of the libraries. Tips. Now what are the tips? Talking about our preferences. When we talk about what we like or prefer, we say I like this book, or I like to read this book. That is preferences. You are giving preference to that particular thing. I like it. I like to read. I prefer to borrow a book from this library. I prefer, right? I love to watch this story on television. So you can use such words, to give preferences. I like to, I prefer to, I love, right? It is better to give a reason why we prefer something over something else. It's better to give. I would like to watch this story on television just because I have already read. Okay, so now I want on television. So it's better to give some reason. We should be polite and respect others' choices even if we do not like it ourselves. It is not about that whatever you like, that is okay, right? If other likes something else, you cannot say that it's not that much interesting. You just read this book, okay? You just watch this film. It's much more interesting than yours. No, we always respect others, likings too. We can use phrases like that sounds interesting and I haven't read or watched it yet. You can use this that phrases like that sounds better. It sounds better actually, right? So it creates some interest in yourself or to the listener. That sounds interesting and I haven't watched it yet, but I would definitely give it a try. So what will happen when you say it sounds interesting? So the one who is speaking will receive the respect from the listener, that he or she is actually listening what I am telling. So what we can say, that it sounds better. I haven't read or watched it yet, but yes, I would definitely give it a try. Okay, so that was all about our library and about our preference, how to deliver your dialogues, okay, and your interest to other people. So now I want to invite Arun sir, right, for a further activity.
Thank you, Janice sir. Will not go further than this because Janice sir has explained you properly about what is the rules and regulations. We are very lucky that this year also we have opened a library in our school. So whenever you will come, you will get a chance to visit this library. And whenever you visit this library, you need to keep in mind all these rules. Correct? The silence is must in the library. So my dear students, when we have the exam, correct? So during the exam, we might ask you to speak about the rules of the library. So you should learn it by heart, you should understand what exactly it is, and suddenly Alka sir or Jenny sir or I will call you and I will ask you, okay, tell me the rules of the library in your own words. You just cannot copy these things, but you have to speak it in your own word. So you can rephrase the sentences, you can use the presentation tips which are explained by Jenny sir to you. So that's it for today's lecture. See you soon in the next video. Thank you.